So, for the limitations, like in 3G and whatnot, we don't have anything specific there. You do need to be sensitive to, is my user going to be on a 3G network, or, I have one of the new HTC Evos, a 4G, even faster, or are they going to be on Wi-Fi? Or is this an iPhone user that's on none and maybe they're on an old Edge network phone, which is, really slow. So, no, we don't have any special features built in for that in particular. We are, of course, looking at adding things like Bluetooth discovery capabilities. But even today, you can do some add-on coding to handle some of that yourself. And then down the line, we'll keep adding on. One of the things we talked about earlier today was where is Unity not yet as robust as it can be. And we definitely agree that the networking side is an area where we can add a lot of ease-of-use features. So you can look for some of this coming down the line.
Well, one last question. Sure. I've worked with Unity 3D for a couple of months now, and I'm still a little bit unsure about the right way to collaborate with other people. Are you working on a more detailed documentation of the desired workflow and asset pipeline with Unity?
Yes, and I don't know that it's necessarily going to be, quote, documentation, like as in the help, or do we write something akin to a best practices article? Because there's no one way to do it. There are ways that are going to be more painful and ways that are going to be less painful, or hopefully some that are not painful, right? And so through our experience working with the likes of EA, talking to them, getting feedback, by implementing our Subversion and Perfor support, and then of course some features down the line that we want to put in, eventually things like scene merging or prefab merging, which is not available today. We want to develop some best practices and guidelines and get that up. Again, not necessarily as documentation, but perhaps as an article or a tutorial that we'll have up on our website to offer some guidance so that people from the start can begin working on projects in the right way. Because what can happen is people start on a project and don't think about this, and down the line they start adding team members on, and that's where you run into problems quite often when it's more painful to change the workflow over than if they just started it, quote, the right way. So yes, we do plan on adding some documentation or resources about that to offer good guidance.
So, I say, would you like to join a discussion with us about the development of the mobile platforms in the future? Because Unity seems to be right at the spot with the development of the multiple platform solution. Because there are about 5 to 10 multiple platform OSs right now. Android and the iPhone OS as being the biggest. What do you think will the way be in which the mobile market is going to develop?
Well, we're looking at every available platform you can imagine that offers interest for Unity developers. So, the obvious things are like, what about a PlayStation Portable? What about Windows Mobile 7? What about Linux? So we look at another gaming dedicated, another mobile dedicated, another desktop dedicated environment. So we're looking at everything that's out there and trying to decide what's the next item of interest. So again, our goal is to allow you to go anywhere you want. And if we say author wants to deploy anywhere, currently that has to have an asterisk. Well, we have a lot of platforms, we don't have them all. And how is mobile going to continue to develop? Well, the numbers of smartphones that are out there are going to quickly surpass the number of connected machines, because you take a family of 4 at home, all of them might have a smartphone in their pocket, but there's only one computer in the house, maybe a laptop or so. So I think it's going to develop just simply based on demand, as everybody out there is going to have a more powerful device in their pocket. And gaming is a huge driver of platform adoption because, I use my calendar app and I use email, but I play crosswords, I play games on my phone all the time. Probably far more than I do any other app or even using it for phone calls. So I think we're going to continue to see it flourish, and again, games are going to be a key part of platform adoption for folks, as will be general app availability. And we just hopefully will continue to be there on each platform of interest at the right time by staying aggressive with our new platform development.
Yeah. Mario, you brought up a really interesting question, and Tom, you actually answered it in a key way. It wanted me to bring up, in terms of platforms, do you see mobile surpassing web browser, like browser games? Because when you said in terms of adoption, everybody hello, your mobile's on your hand wherever you go, and your laptop is in your home or in your office or tucked away in your messenger bag.
Yeah. So to be clear, I'm going to rephrase your question to make sure people don't misinterpret my answer. Do I see mobile replacing the web? Absolutely not. I think both are going to continue to be extremely important channels of content distribution. The numbers of connected users are going to be higher on mobile phones very soon, if not already.
Okay.
Because of the number of handset sales, because you have it in your pocket all the time, you're going to be accessing the web or application content far more regularly on your device than you are on your computer. And again, I sat on an airplane for 11 hours on my way over here, and I was able to pull up my phone and play apps locally. I could then get here and access the web on my mobile device. And I'm using that far more often than I ever actually touch my computer. So I think the number of touches, the number of times you can reach out and get to a user is going to be higher on the mobile phone. But that does not mean it'll be a replacement, because there's still a different form factor and a different level of experience that's offered by a device with still a small screen and still less power than I'm going to have on my desktop or on my laptop. Okay. So it's not a replacement of one for the other. Both are going to be important mediums. And you have to think about using both of those. We talked about this multiple platform discussion earlier with your question. And, what about games that have an interface on the web, on the desktop, on a mobile phone? They're all part of one content experience, but allow me to touch it however and wherever I want. So don't think of them as mutually exclusive, but yeah, I think the numbers are going to be higher on mobile devices.
Okay, I agree too. What about you, Mario?
Well, that's the good question, I think, simply because I think it's going to merge. We've heard about the native client technology earlier. Do you think that this is going to be a potential channel for Unity as well?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Over the next time, I think Google will add this to the Android browser.
Yeah. So it's obviously going to be a huge channel for Unity developers. Just because content will just work in the new browser, right? It's kind of this plug-in free process. B, it will get us a move to Linux for free. When the Chrome browser with the native client gets moved over to Linux, we don't have to do that port. Google handles that intermediary layer for us. So those things offer huge potential for our developers, let alone anything future that comes out. We haven't even talked about Google TV, all right? And there's potential for us there because now we're on a supported platform, we're already running there. So I think that's going to be a massive opportunity for developers down the line, let alone when other browsers start to adopt that technology, hopefully, and offer playback through it as well. So fantastic potential, and that's why we're really excited about working with Google.
Wow. That's a good one too, Mario. Tom, I was thinking, it seems as if Unity is almost near perfect. It's just my opinion, and I'm not a game developer. So it seems like it's meeting all the challenges and issues that game developers would have. You already have an outreach to multi-platforms, yada, yada, yada. There's got to be something. Is there any particular area in Unity 3D's engine or environment that you see could have any, areas of improvement?
Yes. If we were perfect, we'd be out of a job. Because then there'd be no more left to do. We could pack it up, go home, and just finish the product. So, Unity 3.0 is coming out. Integrated light mapper, occlusion culling, deferred rendering. These are things for improving the graphics capability of the tool. There are always workflow improvements to be done. Multiplayer development, 2D GUI content, or just 2D game development could be improved. So there are lots of areas to improve upon, many of which we're addressing in Unity 3.0, others of which we just have to push till later on because we can't do it all. We have to ship a product eventually. Mm-hmm. So lots and lots of ways to improve, let alone on the new platform side we just talked about here is there's more mobile devices, there's more gaming platforms to go to. Linux is still a potential opportunity, let alone what are the new devices we don't yet know about that are coming out next week or so, next month, next year. So lots and lots still left to be done. We still think that Unity is an awesome tool. It does a fantastic job, but there's still more work to be done. So we're not perfect and we're not done.